All right, welcome everyone to an Introduction to Conservation Biology, NRM 277. I am Gino Graziano, going to be your instructor this year, and I'm going to go over the course and syllabus and the whole course structure and everything here in this recording. But first, I'll give you a little bit of information about myself. I am actually stationed down in Anchorage office, Cooperative Extension Service office. I work with UAF in the Institute of Agricultural Natural Resources and Extension. I've been teaching this course for quite a while now, probably close to 10 years, and with the CNSM. My focal areas of research and extension are in invasive species, forest health, and pest management as it relates to agriculture and forestry. So I've got research sites down in Anchorage dealing with invasive chokecherry trees, Prunus pedis and virginiana, as well as up in Fairbanks. And then I do a lot of work actually out at the farms that UAF manages, both in Palmer and in Fairbanks as well. And so if you're on the Fairbanks campus, that farm that where our research plots are located, and a lot of other researchers have projects going on there, is located down just below the Georgeson Botanical Garden. Kind of if you came into campus from Sheep Creek Road, it's over in that area. On the other side of the railroad tracks. And so in the summertime, you might see me out there for a few weeks here and there in Fairbanks. And then in Palmer, we're actually located along the Parks Highway right next to the hospital. The hospital actually purchased that property from UAF quite a few years ago as the farm was kind of contracting in its size to represent the amount of research that's being done there. But we have additional plots there. I do a lot of work with presently with the bird chokecherry management, as I mentioned. Also been studying a lot of pesticide fate, because in order to manage a lot of invasive species, you need to use some sort of pesticide, and understanding their fate in the environment is pretty important with that. And then also been doing other research to try to make agriculture more sustainable with regards to pest management, to reduce our reliance on synthetic pesticides, and using various crops, intercropping methods, cover crops to help manage that. So that's enough about me. Let's get into the course itself. So in this course, you're going to learn about the basics of conservation biology, how the ecological, genetic, management, legal, and historical techniques and issues that revolve around conservation biology are used to help manage species over a long term, to prevent extinctions, to make populations more sustainable, to make these populations actually live and be at functional levels. And we'll talk about what all of those things mean as the courses progress. The book you're going to be using is An Introduction to Conservation Biology by Anna Scher. You can purchase this online as a text or as a paper copy at the bookstore. You can also use it as an ebook through the bookstore, or you can also sometimes get it through the book provider themselves. I will provide you a link for that in the announcements if there's any sort of special deals for students that purchase it through Red Shelf, the book provider. So this is a good book. It's very up-to-date. It's been recently updated and has a lot of new information within it. So, and it is organized like most books with chapters. Our course schedule will closely follow these chapters that are in the book. It has learning objectives in there. I've adopted some of these learning objectives into our learning objectives, which I'll talk about here in a minute. And then also within this, there's a lot of practice questions. And I encourage you to, as you read the book and read through the text, the required readings, to work on these practice questions and then bring those to me in office hours or shooting me other messages in the discussions and elsewhere so that we can address those if you aren't grasping those particular things. And so now I want to take you all to the Canvas page. Not that one, this one. This one, so this is the Canvas page, the student view that you will all see to navigate through the course. There'll be this welcome and introduction where I'll post this video. On every week, at least a few times a week, I will post announcements reminding you of what it is that you need to do this week and where you need to be, turning in assignments, etc. But first, or next, let's go over the schedule. So this schedule, again, takes a little while to come up, is all right. The schedule again is based off of the chapters in the book, and so you can see I've got all the weeks that you'll be working on each of these. Course overview, defining conservation biology, that's chapter 1. Next week we'll cruise through chapter 2 and 3, chapter 4, etc. So you'll have readings to do every week. Within these readings, or after these readings, we will have an online discussion session posted about your learning objectives. I'll get a little bit more into that here in a second as well, about exactly what those are. And then you'll need to respond to folks as well and their posts on that. So there are 3 times during the semester where you won't have any readings. That's when we take the midterms right before spring break. There's also 1 week where you will provide presentations about a chosen topic in conservation biology that we'll discuss as well in a little bit. And then obviously the week of the final exam, we won't have any new material to cover that week. All right, so next, let's go back home and we'll go over what these learning objectives are. So you saw when we looked at the book, there were some learning objectives up. I've used some of those and I've created some others on my own. These are what you are responsible for knowing in the class. And so for chapter 1, we have 4 different learning objectives. And so the ones that any of these learning objectives you can be responsible for on the any quizzes or midterms or final exams that we have in this class. So you need to understand, in this case, how to trace the history of ideas about conservation of nature over human history and across cultures, based on what you saw in the book. The ones that are in bold are those that are specific for your conservation biology chosen topic and what you should be discussing in those weekly posts. So here we need to be looking at the 2 and 3, those bolded objectives, and those are supposed to be in that weekly post, your issue report, and any other writing assignments that we have that are focused on those issues reports. So I have all of these learning objectives here. Go back to them again. Is both PDFs and Word documents. I encourage you to download them as Word documents prior to reading the weekly assignment. And as you fill in those, or as you read, fill in notes about each of those things, what the concept is in the learning objective, and how it pertains to your chosen conservation biology topic helps obviously as well. Ideas you have and the like, that will help you progress and keep moving along in a really easy format within this course. The PDF versions are there just in case that's your best way of being able to read them and all of that. I will be updating these learning objectives as we approach each of the new chapters, trying to not add more learning objectives, but I may add additional supplemental readings and videos and things like that on the list of after the list of learning objectives, things that could help you grasp some of the things that are on there. So, all right, next, let's go over assignments. So there we have learning direction and writing assignments. So if we navigate over here to the left, there's assignments. As long as you keep going to the assignments page, this will always stay in order. Some of the assignments are discussions, and so when you click on that assignment discussion, it will bump you over to a discussions page, so you have to navigate back to assignments to kind of keep it all in order. That's fine. I'm still updating some of the dates on these, so ignore the dates that you see on this screen right now and only pay attention to the ones that you actually see on your Canvas. So if we go to Chapter 1 assignment, which is your first one of the week, there's no message in here yet. What will happen is that I will post a reply to this that reiterates those learning objectives that we want you to cover in your conservation biology topic. I may pick a random topic to kind of address those issues as an example for you all, and then you will write up anywhere from, depending on the number of learning objectives and the complexity of your topic, anywhere from probably 2 to 5 paragraphs of information that summarizes how your chosen conservation biology topic ties back to those learning objectives, either to move conservation biology, the issue further forward, or just how the science interacts and etc. That will be due every Thursday, and so your first writing assignment is actually due this Thursday. Within then the following Tuesday, by the following Tuesday rather, I want you all to be replying to others posts in this discussion forum. So it's an open discussion forum. I want everybody to read and learn from each other's topics that are chosen and your summaries that you're giving. Those will actually be part of the midterm and final exams to be able to I might draw from those different topics. Will make you memorize, the weight of Asian elephant and how that pertains to things. But you get the idea. Tie back how this learning objective pertains to, conservation of Asian elephants, or, etc. Those sorts of things might show up on both midterms and finals. So you want to pay attention to everybody's. When we make these comments on others' posts, we're looking for is comments that are about the subject matter, trying to ask questions, dive further into the subject matter, make additional points about the subject matter, maybe suggest looking into something. We're not looking at nitpicking on people's grammar, etc. And we want to keep all of this really social and light and nice. So nothing critical written about people's opinions, etc. And the like. So that'll be part of your weekly writing assignment. I will probably, depending on the size of the class, assign you basically a peer review partner or peer review groups, so that you will be required to read and review, or put a review at least on maybe 2 to 3 of these uh, assignments that were posted on that last Thursday. And so that way you have to follow at least a certain number of people, and it doesn't get too unwieldy. If there's a lot of people in the class, then all of a sudden everybody's responding to one person's post, and not looking at all of the other ones, and so we don't get as much interaction as what we would like. Again, those will be due on the Tuesday, and which gives you plenty of time after they're turned in on Thursday. Some people turn some in late. That happens. We do have a late policy. I'll go over some of that stuff here in the syllabus in a little bit, and that those sorts of things will catch up for themselves, and we'll be doing well. So that covers the weekly assignments. Let's jump into the syllabus. So let's go back home, and there's the syllabus. All right, so you scroll through the syllabus, the first thing you're going to come to is my contact information. That's what they tell me I should put up there, and it makes a lot of sense. So we'll stick with that. Um, what we're going to be doing for office hours this year is Monday, Thursday, and Friday are good days for me to meet by appointment between 9 and 11 a.m. I'm going to poll the group for a Tuesday office meeting time that would work to have kind of a regular office meeting time. We could, in where I will just open up a Zoom room that you can all jump in on, and whoever wants to, these won't be a required thing, and I can go back over slides from previous or the next coming learning objectives and chapter that we're going over, and provide any other information, questions, etc. that you would like to go over during that time. There's a lot of other stuff in here that you should go over on your own. We don't need to read through this each together, but here is the conservation biology issue report. So this is a big deal for your class. You want to pick this out as soon as you possibly can. You don't have to have it solidified by this Thursday, but by this Thursday, you should definitely propose an idea of what your conservation biology issue report might be on. What we're looking for with this is that you're going to pick one topic in conservation biology to follow for the entire semester and tie back the bolded learning objectives that we have each week back towards. Then within there's you have a final presentation and a final paper that you're going to write. Now, it's going to be on that conservation biology topic. I really encourage you, as you do those weekly writing assignments, to put them in Word, save them on your computer, and use those weekly writing assignments along with any of the edits you would make to that weekly writing assignment from comments folks like I and others that are peer reviewing your writing assignment make in the class. And what that's going to do is really ease your ability to turn in a paper at the end of the semester. So because you can just essentially start by copying and pasting those, edit it down, make conjunctions and other things to join all those paragraphs together, put it into a logical format, which hopefully the chapters provide, and the flow of this class provides a reasonable logical format, and then we'll go from there. So what to choose for a conservation biology topic. This is really up to you largely. I do want you to send me what your chosen topic will be, and I will approve it. I need to know what it is so that I have it written down and can actually follow it. You can choose things like an endangered species, or an imperiled species, if not an endangered one. Those are often really good. They have a lot of good information on them. Some species, though, especially ones that are not so charismatic, a large megafauna tend to be really charismatic, while some tiny little plant or insect somewhere might not be that charismatic and won't have as much information on it. So you might want to do a little bit of research to make sure that you can actually find good, reliable information on Fish and Wildlife Service, conservation organization pages, and others, especially if you choose an endangered or imperiled species. You can also pick certain types of ecosystems, especially ones that are potentially endangered or imperiled, like tall grassland prairies in the Midwestern United States, things like that that might have quite a bit of conservation out there for them. Um, Other things you might consider choosing are an invasive species. Um, you know, Fair warning, my specialty area is invasive species, and so I might actually know quite a bit about it already. So, which could be good and could be bad, but definitely encourage you to choose those things as well. I want to learn a lot from all of these, and I always do, either from the research you're doing and or from some of the extra research I might be doing on those as well. So choose something that is going to interest you, keep you wanting to work in this class and get something out of this class, and also is going to provide you the information that you need to do the research that you need to do. So you're going to be giving a presentation as well. So I've jumped down here to recording and posting presentations page on or section in the syllabus. Um, and so you need to be able to record a video similar to what I'm doing right now. I use a paid software program called Camtasia. You don't need to buy a software program to do this. What you do need to do is have something that will allow you to record a video that includes the slides from whatever program you're using, whether it's PowerPoint or another, Google Slides, etc., whatever you're using. You don't need to record your video. You do need to be able to record the audio, though. You don't have to edit your videos. It is nice, though, if you kind of pause here and there if you can click pause on the video so that you can kind of gather yourself and get ready to move on to the next slide, things like that. One that I suggest and have researched for you is called ScreenPal. This one's free. It used to go under the name Screencast-O-Matic. It's a screen recorder, does free video recording, has some editing softwares that you can use. ScreenPal allows you free recording for up to 15 minutes of screen time, and that's plenty to cover the video that you will need to record at the end of the semester. And so that's actually what I decided to put as your presentation limit. So you'll want to kind of practice your presentation ahead of time so that you have it down to the 15 minutes and can get it done. Let's see, so ScreenPal 15 minutes, your screen and your microphone. When you're done with your recording your video, I want you to post it up to your YouTube account that's shared via Canvas, and then share it via Canvas as in the discussion post there in that assignment. And I'll create all that for you and provide instructions at the end of the semester when these are done. Some tips and tricks for making a screen recording, writing a script or at least notes. I even have some notes right now to make sure I at least cover everything that I want to do. I don't have a script, as you can probably tell. practice. Make sure your lighting's good if you are using a camera. You're not in a noisy room or things like that when you're doing it. Wait for your roommates to go to sleep, etc., so that you can record your video and then get it up there on YouTube. So there's also a lot of help. The university has both presentation and writing clinics that the information's found in the syllabus for those as well, so that you can use those to get into to basically help you organize yourself if you're new to get providing presentations, public presentations, or you're new to writing up papers and just need some additional help. There are writing and presentation centers. All right, so that kind of brings us to the paper, as well as the weekly writing assignments. There'll be the paper isn't huge. Like I said, use your weekly writing assignments to guide that and build that paper that's due at the end of the semester. We have information here that provides like what font to use, what margins you should have. I want you to cite things. However, you can use whatever citation method you have. Just be really consistent so that I'm not kind of wondering like where'd that citation come from? How'd you do that? Um, and then we'll have you turn those in via email so that I can read them at the end of the semester. Um, Now, you may be wondering about some of those learning objectives in there. What if you pick, in something that, and there's this learning objective has no way, shape, or form pertains to what your chosen conservation biology topic. What you're going to do in that case is create an appendix 1 of your paper, and in that you will define the learning objective and then explain how it doesn't pertain or why it doesn't pertain to your chosen conservation biology topic. So that way I've still made you responsible for understanding that learning objective just like everyone else in the class, and you've demonstrated that you've thought about that learning objective enough to know that it doesn't actually pertain to your chosen topic. Oh, and one more thing about writing, both the weekly writing assignments and the final paper. So there's this really cool thing called artificial intelligence or AI writing softwares and stuff. They work pretty interestingly and well. They not allowed though in this class for these writing assignments. I'll be looking up some ways to figure out how to determine if stuff has been generated by AI. Everything needs to be your own creation, so no copying and pasting from the internet sources or using AI to generate those things. You're welcome to use those things as study aids as appropriate, as aids in organizing your thoughts, but do not copy those things verbatim or use them as your original text. All right, last but not least, we'll talk about grading. That's sort of here um, in the text of the syllabus, as far as on the general course calendar. So your weekly writing assignments are going to be worth 20% of your grade. Those peer reviews then are another 20% of your grade. Midterms 10%, final exam 10%. And then the final presentation is 20% of your grade, and your final paper is also 20% of your grade. So quite a bit is put on basically your chosen conservation biology topic and the interactions that you have with each other in those, as well as myself, and how we progress through that. Got to have a midterm to make sure you're covering all the learning objectives and have some memory of those things. Midterms and finals will be take home open book type finals. They'll be set up on Canvas. I expect you to be using internet, your book, etc. on those things. However, steer away from working with each other on the same assignment, because if you get all have the same written answers, etc., that's not going to go well. It still has to be your own work. We have written policy in here on the syllabus about that if you do not turn in your own work. So no working together on the midterm and the final. But you do have all the resources, all the other resources that you can to get that done. So more on those things when that time comes. In the meantime, I really look forward to working with you all this semester and learning about your chosen conservation biology topics. I've gotten to learn about some really cool things in the past that I would have never otherwise learned about, and it's going to be a great term. So thanks, and we will see you in the discussion forums.